few seconds doing this. Okay. So, yeah, sure. Please take your seats. Ladies want to sit beside me. 这个会用吧? So the mic is here. Okay, I mean I presume you all should know how to use, but the mic is here. So just I'm gonna on it now. Okay. Yeah. This on is off. Okay. Yeah.
So I will be the first.
No, you hold it first. Yeah.
Okay, I see.
So yeah. So please speak.
So it's on, right?
Haven't on yet. Once you push it up, then it's on.
Oh, yeah. To the up, right?
No, just to the middle will be fine already.
Oh, okay.
So please speak louder because yesterday's video. Speak louder and also bring the mic closer to your mouth. Yeah. So 5 minutes a question. Please slowly articulate clearly what you want to say. You see, there's no rush because yesterday most of the candidates took only 2 to 3 minutes to finish one question. That's too fast. See, if the audience cannot hear you, then there won't be another chance anymore. So better take the chance and yeah. And sadly, no one is here today.
Yeah. Maybe thousands watch us over there.
I certainly hope so. I certainly hope so. Anyway, yeah. Okay. So you'll just use that mic all along. Okay, I'll just use this one so that I don't have to keep.
So I will pass to you.
Yeah.
We'll finish and it's my turn.
Yeah.
But we'll be having together because we are from different.
Yeah. So the question will not be for everyone. I mean, you want to answer complications or B and B are also okay, man.
I think who will be the first one?
Also can. My plan was for to be Abhishek first, then after that Ian Bo, then you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you and the last guy switch the places.
So we just give the mic to her, but what? Oh, yeah.
I think it's C.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ready?
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Is it fine?
Yeah, it's fine. And actually, whatever we are saying now is being recorded onto the live video, so just that they can't see us because I put in this screen. Okay, 6 o'clock. Let's start. Okay, so welcome to the 7th NTUGSC Exco Election Rally Session 2. There's no season. So with me today for this session is actually Abhishek, who is running for Director Logistics. The next one would actually be Ye Bo, who is running for the Director of Communications. And last but not least is Bing Xue, who is running for Director Publicity and Publications. So without further ado, let's start the rally. Okay, candidates, are you all ready? Okay, so Abhishek, I believe that you have read actually candidates, you can look at the questions in front of you so that you don't have to keep looking at my computer, because by looking at the screen in front, you're actually looking at the audience as well.
Okay.
You get what I mean? I mean you can see the question on the screen, right? Yeah. So you have read the roles and responsibilities of the position you're running for.
Yeah.
Okay, so the question is, which role or roles stated in the roles and responsibility have been fulfilled in the current exco and which have not?
So we have fulfilled the role of taking inventory of all the material in the GSC committee and keep track of budget and supporting logistics officer of different committee. It is somehow done, but I saw a new role of taking minute of meetings during GSC meetings, so this was not done previously by logistics officer AS.
Okay, so the next question would be, for those roles that you have mentioned that haven't been fulfilled, how will you make sure, and the keyword here is make sure that they are fulfilled if you are elected?
Yeah, I'll talk about first role, which is interaction with the logistics officer of different committee and help them in logistics related problems. So I believe that it is related to communication and coordination between different committees. So sometimes it happens that due to improper coordination and communication between committees, we are unable to provide full logistics support. So what I suggest that we can build up online interactive platforms between different committees and logistics members and like logistics member of different subcommittee members. So we can interact through that platform. Or I can suggest that I may wish to organize some open sessions or open session and brainstorming sessions with the collaboration of HR committee or welfare and feedback committee to interact more with other committee members, because I believe that in NTU we have different people from certain backgrounds and culture. So this kind of platforms will build up this kind of events will build up a platform for cross-sharing of idea, and we will get to know more about different committee members and different logistics members, and they will be comfortable in reaching us, approaching us, and we can come up with new ideas and how we can improve the existing ideas.
Okay, I think that's really quite well answered. Actually, I mean personally, I feel that if you really can communicate with the other schools and logistic teams and somehow form a relationship with them, then I think our logistic problem in NTUGSC will really be greatly much easier.
Because we are mainly play supporting roles in different events. So compared to unlike other committees, we need to more interact with other committee members. So it is important for us. And other role about like minute of meetings. So in this case, like I have been working with logistics teams for last 2 years, and like seven time I took responsibility of taking minute of meetings during our meetings. Because I was the senior most member of the committee, and even in my previous experiences, I have after my engineering, I have worked in some industries. So there I used to organize some meetings and all. So I have done this kind of work already. So I think this experience will help me in doing this.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, so next question is for Yan Guo. So you want to ask something? Yeah. Okay, so Yan Guo, you have worked with the communications director for a term. So what are the roles and responsibilities of a communications director that you observe after this one term?
Thanks very much. First of all, before I actually start answering my question, I want to thank Yuan for your wonderful organization work for this election of the committee. And then let's go to the question. But indeed, that actually I have worked as a translator between different news languages before they get published into the public and to our general student. And I think that the roles and possibility of a communication director, in my understanding, first of all, it should be someone who takes care of the information, who shares and who undertakes the possibility and the responsibility of publicizing, spreading the news. And I do believe that in a changing world of the communication, and it is our job to get NTU values heard, NTU voices heard, and NTU information spread. And for my experience for the past 1 year working as a translator, I definitely working to achieve those goals and undertake these responsibilities. Well, let me give you one example. Is that you know that my main working field is on the WeChat group, which means I have to translate news and information before I pass the news and let them edit by the editing group. No, but my job is not limited to translation alone. For example, when I receive the news such like, well, it's very simple and easy English words or phrases such as, you want to dance? Go join Zumba. However, in order to publicize this information, I really have to find this information myself. I have to find out, I have to introduce what is Zumba and what is it. And also I have to look online for beautiful pictures to interest our readers. And then I will pass the edited news, the translated news, onto the next editing group before they could be publicized. So I think for the past few years, for the past 1 year, I'm undertaking the role and responsibility, and then I believe I'm fully qualified and confident to continue and to even improve this role if I'm elected the Director of Communication.
Okay, so so I guess in gist that you are saying that it is actually not easy being a communications director, and for many a time when you were the translator, you actually had to concise the information, yet make it attractive for people to view it and then maybe join if it's an event and stuff, right?
Right. Actually, it is a translator, and also my job is not limited to translation alone. I kind of convert different messages, information, news expressed in another language into a new language. I feel like I'm the bridge, a culture bridge, language bridge between the two cultures, two communities. And in this way, I try to bring the Chinese community, the English community, into the general and united NTU community.
Okay, well said. Okay, so we move on to the next candidate with Bing Xue. Yep. So Bing Xue, you are now in the second year, right?
Yes.
Okay. I believe you, similarly, you should have experienced GSC for 1 term now.
Yeah.
So, in your opinion, what responsibilities does the Director of Publicity and Publication have to bear?
As far as I think, at least as a director of publicity and publication, we need to first make the poster well. I have heard a lot of people tell me that if I become the director, I first need to be more effective in making posters. Also, I think my duty might be overlapped with Yangon, the director of community. Because when I was in SCD GCRC, I was the director of publicity. At that time, I set up the website. Also, I send out the email. I write the introduction of every event, and I took photos also. I think all of this should be the duty of the director of the publicity and publication. But as we already have a communication committee, so I think maybe I can focus more on posters and photos and work together with Yanbo, and we can communicate with each other about our job, about what should we do, so that we can work more effectively.
Okay, yeah, I guess if both of you are elected, you really go very close. Currently our Publicity and Publication Director as well as the communications are really working very close right now. Okay, so back to Abhishek. We saw in your nomination that you wrote you wish to improve the coordination amongst different committees as well as fostering communication amongst all the graduate students. Well, in our opinion, this seems more like a job for the communications director. So, specifically, what kind of communication do you wish to foster? And take note, because you wrote that amongst all the graduate So we would like to hear a specific plan that you have in mind to at least, I mean, it's really impossible to engage each and every one, but at least engage each and every schools, most of their graduate students, instead of just within the GSC.
Yeah, actually, somehow I answered this question in the previous one that because I mentioned this communication thing, I found that sometimes because of improper coordination only we are unable to provide full logistic supports to other committees. Like we promised that we can provide this support, but like at the last moment there may be some disruptions and all. So that is why I focus this point. So I again can mention that there are certain ways, like if I talk particularly about my committee. So first of all, I would be myself involving in the communication so that I can make sure that all the logistics members are performing their duty properly. Second thing that it is important to build a communication between director of different committees, logistics director and subcommittee members of logistics to perform the task properly. So I suggested for the online interactive platform that can be built. And the other thing about this communication among all the graduate students, so as I suggested that I can organize an event in collaboration with welfare, feedback, HR or communication. We are not talking about organizing an event individually, like independently, because logistics is more about supporting roles. So this kind of open communication and brainstorming session, because NTU has advantage that we have students from different background, cultures, different universities of the world, all over the world. So I hope that this kind of cross sharing of ideas will definitely help us to get some meaningful suggestion to improve the existing events, or even some new ideas, like how can we improve the GSC events. No.
Okay, so I mean, it's important, I understand the point whereby it's important to establish an effective communication within the different GSC committees, because GSC is a team, it is a family. So, however, what I'm saying is that is it possible that you also engage the logistic directors of the school-based GSC as well? Because ultimately, if you establish just within GSC itself, I don't know, do you think that is already enough, or do you think that it can be better if you can also engage the help of logistics from other schools as well?
Yeah, it will be definitely benefited. That's why I told that in open session we can invite all the university members, not only GSC members.
Okay, I mean, all the university members is also a little bit too much, because
It means like GSC members of different schools.
okay. So you're talking about this online platform, correct?
Yeah.
So did you just mention online platform?
I mentioned two things, like one online platform and other is open sessions.
Okay, so for the online platform, are you going to develop it with your team, or?
No, for online platform will be between EXCO members and between all EXCO members and my subcommittee members.
Okay, so you need.
Because my subcommittee members needs to know the requirement in advance, that when should they be available. Because at the last moment, if someone asks us for help, so due to different engagements, because you all are PhD students, sometimes we are not able to support.
Okay, great. Okay, I think that's quite a really good answer. At least now we are very, very clear that how your logistic team is going to help GSC, especially the events.
Thank you.
Okay, so the next one is to Yan Guo. So hi Yan Guo again. So you also mentioned that in your nomination that you will incorporate non-Chinese elements into the growing WeChat and Weibo platform. So my first question is, from your knowledge, being an active member of the WeChat and Weibo team, what is the percentage of non-Chinese users of these two platforms?
Thank you very much. Well, first of all, I have to say that since this is a China-based social media platform, and with Chinese, the language, Chinese being the dominant language, I really have to admit that foreigners without the Mandarin background may not be very active. They may not even know the existence of WeChat, they may not use it, and let alone being an active user. But I think that's also the issue that I think I could work on if I'm elected Director of Communication. Well, in the first place, please let me briefly explain why we want to develop WeChat in the first place. For some obvious reasons, you might know that the Chinese students may not access Facebook, Twitter in a very frequent and convenient way. That's why in order to help us spread NTU news information, in order to help the information spread far and wide, therefore we created WeChat and Weibo platform in the first place. And I think it works rather very well. Just within 1 year, because when I first joined the WeChat group, I'm one of the founder and one of the founding members of WeChat team, and I worked as translator between different languages. And when I first joined the WeChat team, it was not an active account. Actually, we have one, but no one is using it, and it's not playing a very active role in the student community. But after 1 year of hard work, I'm really proud to say it was hard work. It was tremendous achievement. You know how many subscribers we got? We got over 4,000. Just consider the size of the student at NTU. We have more than 4,000. And also, I think I'm very confident to say that among them, a huge percentage of the subscribers are the parents of the students. You see, that's one of the ways we try to build a bridge between students and their parents and the outside world. And another example is in January 2017, we have publicized an article in which a video is embedded. The whole article is called "Tell You Why NTU is World #1 Young University in 2 minutes." And you know that within just a few hours, how many viewers we got? We got more than 46,000 viewers. You see, it was a very tremendous achievement. That's why I think that we really have done a great job in attracting the Chinese users. So if I'm elected director, I will definitely attract more non-Chinese users and to increase more non-Chinese elements into the social platform. For some time, even myself, I think, of course, there are many others, and including myself, would think it might be incompatible between non-Chinese users and China-based social media. However, I do have changed my opinion after one experience. I once was on an MRT, and I talked to 2 Malaysians who are non-Mandarin speakers, and they use WeChat. They form groups on WeChat to do business. And it really triggered my inspiration that I do believe that if we could create some special conversation groups catering to the various needs of students, regardless of their race, cultural background, or nationality, as long as we could fulfill their needs, I think we could be very successful in attracting non-Chinese students into our social platform.
Okay, so can I take it as actually it's growing, but among the non-Chinese users, it's a growing number, but it's still not that high as compared to Chinese users. So how do you then plan to increase this percentage? Well, you did explain that, saying that you're going to create some special conversation groups, but then how do you get this user to continuously stay loyal to this platform? I mean, assuming that the non-Chinese users, they are going to download WeChat just to join to this special conversation. So how can you make sure that they stay loyal when, I mean even for Weibo as well, when the only information that is shown to them are these conversations or these topics that you created in English, but when they scroll to maybe other features of the app, it's still surrounded by Chinese articles and stuff. So yeah, how do you make them stay loyal to your conversation groups?
I think this is a very good question. I think it is very practical. That we have seen constantly in the history of any development of a particular social media. At the very beginning, the users might be very active. However, as the time going by, it gets less and less active, and almost to the state of being almost frozen. So I think I would definitely recruit a strong and a powerful team in sustaining the development management of this platform. And one of the things I will do is I will try to recruit very talented, very responsible students with language abilities. For currently, I myself I'm responsible for the translation of news, language, and information from English to Chinese. And at the next step, we will have students who could have the ability to translate some information from Chinese to English, to engage more and more non-Chinese students into our daily activities, to try to sustain the development of social media and try to make them the loyal user of our social media.
Okay. So, okay, so besides WeChat, Weibo, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, okay, which other well-known platforms do you know of that most of the non-Chinese users use?
I think regardless of Weibo, WeChat, Facebook, and Twitter, these are electronic platforms. Actually, we have physical platforms. We actually have several NTU notice boards. They are located in canteens, in some graduate halls, where a large number of graduate students would pay attention. I have seen several information publicized on the NTUGSC notice board at Graduate Hall 1. And some of the very interesting and most information for me is obtained there. So I think we will try to increase their visibility and to give them, and also give them high priority in publicizing our news and to try to reach the students' community as far and wide as we can.
Okay, so that means instead of using a more online platforms, you are thinking of reusing the offline platforms to increase the awareness.
Right, I would say it is a combination of social media, electronic social media, and physical news board. And also I think that one of the roles and responsibility for the Director of Communication is that he has the power to use mass emails, right? So I think mass emails is also one of the powerful tools that we could use to reach the NTU students community when they spread our news. However, we really have to make some adjustment with the use of mass media, because I know that one radical example is some students would write to the sender of email saying, "Would you please take my name down the NTU list because I don't want to be annoyed by your mass emails." However, I think the mass email itself is a very, very good idea and invention, but we could change some tactics when we use it. However, currently, I think most of the emails sent are event-based, which means if we have an event on next Friday, we will send emails to all the students 2 weeks before the actual event, and then send them emails again when there is 1 week from the event. So the students may get very, very annoyed by the frequent and often inbox incoming emails. However, we will try to reduce the size and the times of email sending, and we'll try to combine the social media and mass email to make sure that our action are not annoying our students, and also we will try to increase the efficiency of our news spreading. Thank you very much.
Okay, great. So the next candidate. Okay, so Bing Xue, the Publicity and Publication Director, is often faced with the daunting task of finding poster designers and getting to about 3 to 5 posters done under a very tight deadline, like as tight as like 2 to 3 days. I mean, the worst one would be just 1 day before. They may just, Bing Xue, I need a poster right now. Can you get a poster out by tonight or something? Okay, so my question is, if your subcommittee members are not responsive to your request, that means I need designers, but your subcommittee members no one responds to you. And at the same time, you are also preoccupied with your research. So what would you do to get the posters done?
First, I think if I'm busy with my research, I can still have time, maybe after 5 p.m. After 5 p.m. it is my own time. I can use my own time. This is the first choice. I can use my own time. Maybe I work until midnight or work overnight for that. I can work for myself. Also, I will recruit members who will work, who is usually very nice. And I think if it cannot be all members are not responsive.
That's actually possible.
Even if all of them are not responsive, I think I still can ask my friends for help. Yeah. Also, I can even do it by myself by working overnight, because I sometimes work very hard. And I think actually I have experience in designing posters, and I think for one poster 1 or 2 hours will be enough. Yeah, I think so if I really work overnight, I can still get like 3 to 5 posters for them to select. And I think at least I can discuss with my members and let them to see which one is better and discuss with me. Even if they don't discuss with even if they still not responsive and they don't discuss with me, I still can ask for my friends for help, right?
Okay, great. Because I mean, this question is stemming from the fact that we have seen so many of such cases, and I can tell you the current P&D director is actually always faced with this dilemma to keep finding people to design posters in a very short time. You see, so I mean, hearing that from you now, that worst come to worst, you will get your hands dirty and you will work overnight for the posters. At least for the rest of the GSC events, at least whoever's going to be elected will feel more relieved knowing that their posters will eventually still come on time from you. You see? Yeah. Okay, great.
I actually had met this kind of problem when I was in SCBE GCRC also, and as I was a director of director of publicity in SCBE, but also I almost did all the posters. It's like also I almost do all work. I think it's okay.
Well, I mean, it's really good that if you're elected, at least we are assured of a very hardworking P&D director. Yeah. Okay, so let's move back to our first candidate. Okay. So you have been a logistics subcommittee member for a term, correct? So what is the? I mean, it is besides manpower issues and stuff and communication. Any other challenges? Because my question actually is supposed to be what is the greatest challenge, but I guess you already answered that. So what other challenges do you think? I mean, possible challenges may not happen that you can foresee. That you think the logistics committee will face, and if so, how do you plan to resolve it?
Yeah, the main challenge I guess provide support, and sometimes like logistics director himself is not available in town, so it becomes difficult. And other thing like I'm approaching like a logistic director is approaching to his subcommittee members, but they are not responsive, as you mentioned for PNP director, and they are not available due to some reasons. So these are the biggest challenges we face. So what I think that this can be resolved like if we work. I believe in working as a team, because ultimately at the end of the day we all are PhD students, and we have responsibilities, and we are member of a logistic team together. There's a director and subcom members, but ultimately we are logistics team. So for example, if some committee member is not able to perform his task due to some legitimate reasons, so I would not shy to take up his responsibility, even if I am a director. So first I need to set an example in front of my committee that yeah, I can work as a subcommittee member, I can carry chairs, tables also, so it can inspire them. So after this, it would not be unreasonable if I can expect the same from them when I am not available in Singapore, or I am engaged with some projects. So this is how we can work as a team. And the other thing that I can do that, because when I was a subcommittee member, I did it number of times that my director was not available and I was in charge of the task. So in the same way, I would choose one or two members who are willing to become a successor for the next upcoming session of GSC. So I'll train them in a way that they are able to take my responsibility even in my absence. And in the worst case scenario, I believe that whole GSC is like a team. So I can ask out help from other directors also, and we have some logistics members in other committee also. So this is how I guess we can solve this kind of challenge.
Great. Because this question was raised because we face difficulties within the GSC whereby everyone is very busy, and of course while it is possible to communicate with different communities of the GSC, but because you being the logistics, so primarily it is your dual responsibility to provide the logistics. Of course, if you're short of very manpower, other companies can help you, but they will tell you things like please understand that like for example, if you look at this rally, as I said, it's run by me alone, and there's no logistic anyone to help me. So it's good that you mentioned that in the worst case scenario, again, you are willing to set the example of doing the things yourself. And by doing this, I'm pretty sure you will be able to inspire your subcommittee members so that even in your absence, things will still go on well, and everyone will still be happy in the end. So yeah, that's actually a very good answer. Okay, so sorry, you realize my questions are all WeChat and Weibo because you are an active member. In fact, you just mentioned that you are a founder of it, you see. So to relate your experience, so now that you're a translator, you experience times where there are a ton of activities in very tight periods. I mean, you receive emails from me where I need this translator, I need that translator, and you have to translate as fast as possible so that the information are timely posted. So if you're elected as a director, given the limited number of subcom members you can recruit, how would you be able to further strengthen and enhance more rapid, and emphasize this, more rapid NTU information transmission? Because that's what you wrote in your nomination. Yeah.
Thanks very much. Indeed, I worked for the past year as the translation in the WeChat team. My main job is to translate news and information regarding NTU from English to Chinese. And I think that I'm quite confident, I'm quite proud of the job I have done because my translation speed is very, very fast. And
I agree.
Yeah, and And also, you have to realize that the part of my job is not translation. I have to find background information. I have to edit some parts of the passage myself before I pass on to the next editing team. So taking all this process into consideration, I think the translation speed is really very fast. So I think if I'm elected as a director in communication, I will definitely try to look for, recruit, and nurture future translators. And of course, that not only translators who deals with the information from English to Chinese, but also translator who could translate from Chinese to English. And I think that this is also part of our team building. You see, that I run for the director of communication. I'm not just running it for my personal ambition, but I think that I have a commitment to the team and my committee. I will try to, I will look for recruit members who has passion, ability, and confidence, and we will try to build a strong and powerful team in getting our information spread as quickly with high quality. And I think according to my standard, how to judge a good team is that the team could go very well even without its own leaders. So I think I'm kind of a beneficiary of this healthy working environment, because for the past few years in the Committee of Communication, I was given a lot of opportunities to improve myself, to contribute to this community. And in this way, I improved and I grew up with my abilities and experiences and of course confidence. So that's why I come here and decide to run myself for this position, because I believe that there is actually no better way to give back what you have given by undertaking the responsibilities yourself. And that's why I'm very grateful for my director of committee who has given me this experience, chance, opportunities, and to let me grow up. And also, I'm starting to imagine a scenario that maybe next year, one of my fellow members who decided to run himself just because he grew up under my direction, and I would definitely love to see that.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure that we have heard very clearly from you that you will want to recruit and in fact even nurture people who will be translating not just from English to Chinese, but also the other way around. So what happens if, let's say, I have a subcommittee member who is a non-Chinese speaker and wants to join you? What can he or she do in your team?
Thanks very much for the question. I think as a director of communication, my job is not only limited to Weibo, WeChat, and of course I have to deal with Facebook and Twitter, and these are places they could play their big roles. I know personally someone who are very, very talented, who are a truly expert in web design, in getting information published, and I think we really have to recruit members like him, because even though I grew up, I come from WeChat team, I grew up by my experience working for the WeChat team, I never abandoned Facebook and Twitter. And I think that for a successful communication network, that these things are all indispensable. Facebook, Twitter, Weibo, WeChat, and mass email. I think that the general control, I would say control, and handling of these social network platforms and information spreading tools, I think these are also the responsibility for me if I'm elected director of communication.
Okay, great. At least now our prospective communication subcom members will now know what to expect, at least from you if they serve under you. Okay. So, well, this question was supposed to be for you, but apparently you will answer it. So, the purpose of the notice board is to allow graduate students have an offline platform to find Facebook, Twitter, and WeChat Weibo, and any other possible online platforms. So now the challenge is, how would you be able to increase the viewership of these notice boards, and how will you plan to quantify this viewership? That means, how do you know that how many people at least roughly looks at our notice board? Because we do have one notice board that's near Coffee Bean, if you know, and besides follows up there, we try our best, but time doesn't allow us to really regularly update it. So I'm just asking whether how are you going to increase people look at our notice board, and how to so-called count the number of people who looks at our notice board.
I think first maybe we need to set up more poster borders, and also maybe we make the background of the bird better, it become more attractive, and also maybe we can encourage them to go there and have view by give some small gifts. Yeah, for example, like some small lucky draw or something.
So does that mean that for every event that Jason is going to have, you're going to set up a small booth in all our notice boards?
Some small interesting thing. Yeah, maybe we can, for example, if there was a poster board, me and my friend can go there and maybe ask them some questions like interview, and or try to play some small game or ask some interesting questions. And for example, if we have an event like for example, like welcome party, we can stand near the poster and ask them how much do you know about NTU, how much do you know about graduate hall, and what do you expect about graduate student life like this, and we can chat with them and ask their feedback.
Okay, so I guess we are all expecting a very exciting notice boards. So besides looking down at our phones, finally we will get to look at something, looking up, and our notice board for something interesting, probably like the trivia that she mentioned. Okay, so well, that's all questions from me. Now from the audience, are there any questions that you want to ask candidates? For the Facebook viewers, if you have any questions, please comment them under the post, under the live video post, and I will ask them on your behalf. Anyone? Any question? No? Okay, so that means everyone is pretty clear about what they are trying to deliver if they are elected. So that marks the end of this session. The next session will actually start at 7 p.m. So for the Facebook viewer, please continue to stay by your computer, or at least make sure that the live video is still running. At 7 p.m. we will start the next round of rally.
Thank you very much. I hope this is a quite an interesting experience for all of you. I think I have an order. Yep, I have an order. Okay, so I have Neopin first, followed by Tusha, followed by Archana. Okay, so stay calm. You have 5 minutes. Please do not talk so fast. Okay, you can take your own sweet time to draw your experience. Talk softly and articulate clearly, so that the audience can know what you're talking about. And that's it. You know. Yeah. Okay. Because like that, if not, you will force me to give you more questions. Okay. So. Okay. So this is the. Do you know how to operate this? So there is the mic is this green color thing. Try to put it nearer to you so that it sound loud. Then there's a. You just need to push it up like that. This is on, and this is off. Okay. So, okay. This is 7:1. By the way, they cannot see whatever you're doing right now. So.
Where is the camera?
The green color light. Don't worry, I usually don't even look at it. Look at the audience more.
Okay, so welcome back to the next session of this rally. So in this section, we'll be the candidates are actually let me just get it up. Okay, so first we have Nian I pronounced correctly, right? Okay, yeah. So she's running for the Director of Social and Recreation under the Operations and Finance. So next is Tusha, who is running for the Director of Academic Events, also under Operations and Finance. Lastly, we have Archana, who is running for the GCRC Director under Operations and Finance. So without further ado, let's start. So let me get the live broadcast. Okay, and now we're on camera. Okay, just let me see. Okay, so let's start with our first candidate. So Nian, you have been in NTU for at least an academic year. You are year 2 now?
Yeah.
Okay, so can you share with us what are some of the SNR activities that you participated in?
So I participated in the Orient, like when I first come here, the first year I joined the tour in the city and the boat. So it's quite nice. And then like I also although I didn't actually go to the party, that I have a look of them and it's quite hot. And so and then in the second year, I don't remember whether it's second year or the like January. There was also a party for new student who joined NTU. So I joined in that activity. Want to know more people. So and I also met 3 to 5 very good friends through the activities. And besides, there are also the sports for badminton, and which I also joined. And there is another one. There's you go to find treasure and play like the team. I don't remember.
So it's like a treasure hunt.
Yeah, treasure hunt. Yeah, I also went. So it's the person that I met in orientation party. Not orientation activity, and we 4 people win the first prize in that activity.
Okay, so have you went on the farm tours and because what you mentioned so far seems to be mostly orientation organized, but SNR activities I believe is like like bread fest, the goat farm tour, the Bollywood veggies. I don't know whether you heard of that.
Farm tour, I know I remember some about hiking and also
Yes.
a ghost farm.
Yes.
Hiking I joined, but ghost
done well and which areas requires troubleshooting? So, I mean, when you join activities, do you feel like there are some things that you think that, or you feel that it could be better done, like maybe the buses, the queue, or maybe is it too expensive, too cheap, or you know?
Okay. I think so overall, I think the activity organized by the GSI is quite nice in the past 2 years, as I know, and the price is quite affordable for us. So, and it's actually a good point because then we are attracted. But I think so for some activities, the waiting time is a little bit long. So, and the events is a little bit messy. I don't know why, but maybe because too many people. I think maybe more clear sign or more details about how to create a line by email to notice people before then it can improve the situation.
So you believe that timely notification to the participants will actually help in making the event not so messy, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. So, okay, thank you for your answer. Now we'll move on to Tusha. Okay, Tusha, in your nomination, you mentioned about the extension of 3MT NTU to 3MT Singapore. So this is a very exciting initiative. I think we're all looking forward to that. So you also mentioned that besides participation from the other universities, there's also from the school-based GSCs as well. So what if in this scenario whereby other universities and the school-based GSC are not receptive to 3MT Singapore? Would you consider that you fail as a director? Because in your nomination, it seems like you place a very significant large amount of focus on 3MT as a reason to be elected as a director.
Okay, thanks for the question. So basically, I was a part of the Academics Events Committee as a subcom member last time, and as per what I learned, 3MT is not only a flagship event of Academics Events Committee, but also of NTUGSC. Of course, it is of a very high priority when it comes to the event. There are obviously all other smaller events, like for example the workshops. There are a number of workshops that are conducted in collaboration with NTU libraries. However, given the scale of 3MT, it is extremely important that it is conducted really well. Addressing your question, what happens if it is not received well? Well, over the years, the Academics Events Committee has done their job really well, and the reputation that has been built, it is really well recognized by many student bodies, by different organizations across NTU. At least as far as that goes, 3MT is a very well-known event. Now, that actually gives great responsibility for the incoming director because it has already been done so well so far. Now that the outgoing directors did a great job, and they have already initiated some talks with other universities along with our collaborators. The point is that they have already taken a very first crucial step, and it is important for the incoming director to perform really well. Now, the experience that I got under their leadership has really helped me to get a good idea about what it entails to be the director of Academic Events Committee and organize something as big as 3MT. Also, I was a part of the refounding committee of SCSC learned a lot under the leadership of the past directors, because I was in charge of publicity, and my job was to take care of all the videos. So there was videos that were played on the NTU TVs, and of course on the main day for Facebook. So that entailed a lot of work. So I know that even though I did have a lot of work in a span of 2-3 months, that was, basically immediately after joining Academic Events Committee, I knew that my leaders were not just people whom I had to report to. They were people whom I could always call on anytime if I needed help. And there were a lot of such instances when I thought that I needed a sense of direction, I needed some help. So with that kind of backing up from the directors, it really helps motivate you to do your best, and that is something that I have imbibed, and I believe I will be looking forward to doing as a director if I get elected. So that's about within NTU. When it comes to 3MT Singapore, 3MT is also connected by other universities in Singapore, and the thing is that we have some huge organizations who are our collaborators. I think it's quite unlikely that it may not be received that well, but in that case, we will definitely have a contingency plan and to try and understand, to try and be prepared for any such occasion if it arises. Regarding the school GSCs, I have some ideas in how to involve them, and basically one of it is to you just use them at the very grassroots level. That is when it comes to connecting the heats, so that we have proper dissemination of information. We have good participation from schools which have particularly been less represented in 3MT so far. I guess we, along with my subcom, if I'm elected, I can do a good enough job.
Great, I think that's a very good answer. So at least we now know that you have a very sound plan on how you will conduct 3MT NTU, and in fact, making sure the extension of it to 3MT Singapore will be a smooth one, and I guess it will be really exciting to see different universities sending their representatives just to copy this 3MT. Great, thank you for your answer. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. So, Achan, are you ready? Okay, so in your nomination, you mentioned that you will act upon any relevant issues of graduate hall residents to make their stay more enjoyable. So please tell us what are these relevant issues that have been raised by residents so far, and what are the specific plans that you have in mind to actually act upon these issues?
Hello everyone. So we students all have been living in the graduate hall, and then the graduate hall is our home. So all the facilities over there which we get as a student is very good actually. So and then as a committee we have been addressing the issues which have been raised by the hall students. Like the issues can be very small, the pantry, the heater not working in the pantry, or the oven not working, the washing machine not working. These are kind of very small issues, but they play a huge role. For example, I can say that when I was living in the hall, the induction cooker in the kitchen used to get spoiled a lot. Then I did not know whom to complain, where to get help from, how to get it replaced. So maybe that's the case of the many other residents similar to me. So this time I would propose that we can put a kind of a box for the suggestions in the different spots in both of the graduate hall, and then the residents, they can if they have any complaints or anything, they can just write it in a piece of paper and put it in the box. I think this would be a very good thing to do, because if we do that, we can address that issue immediately. And then if we are also collecting the feedbacks from at different time points and addressing those. But if the issue is if the residents got the issue today, and then we collect the feedback, say after 6 months, then that issue is just gone already. And then so for that reason, it would be very good to address those kind of issues immediately.
Okay. So you mentioned about the spoiled induction cookers and as well as maybe possibly the washing machine is spoiled. So these are issues I've heard before as well.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yeah, as a hall resident, I have been facing these issues a lot, so I can relate to it.
Yeah, I totally can feel your pain. So now, you say you mentioned some students don't know. So now you also mentioned that you didn't know initially. So now, if an induction cooker is spoiled in graduate hall, what should we do?
We will talk with the housing, and then we will ask them to replace, because that's a facility which students get it.
Okay.
So we will have to collaborate with the housing and then get it replaced as soon as possible.
So housing, specifically, which would you be referring to? HAS? Or?
Yes, GCRC have been collaborating, talking with the HAS and doing the whole things.
Great. So I mean, at least from your answer, we know that you will stay in close contact with HAS to make sure that the residents' problems are properly resolved.
Yes.
Yep, great answer, thank you. So we'll move back to our first candidate. Okay, let me get a question. Okay, this is a very interesting question. So, Nian, you mentioned that in your nomination that you will obtain grants and funds. I presume it's for SMR activities, right? Not actually. Oh, that would be interesting. So, your grants and funds are for what purpose then?
So it was in my university. So we have 8 people in.
You have to put the mic closer to you.
We have 8 people who were selected by our physics school to participate in Chinese University Physics Tournament. But at that time, our funding is very limited. So it's only 15,000 for 8 people, and the research fee 9,000. So it's like half of it is already used, and we need the money to travel, hotel, and also the equipment that we prepare the competition. So it's very limited, and what I do is I look for funding from 2 different sources. One is to ask from our vice dean of our school, and they support us from a different source as the original one. So, and another thing is we also find support from the student club of our school of physics to support all the money we spend on the equipment that we need to do the experiment. So they support all those fundings. And another thing is, I think that's the main point, because in that side, the hotel they provide is 300 Chinese yuan, and it's much too expensive because if we use their hotel, then we have to cut our people, and that's the thing I don't want to happen in our group. So I discuss with them to see if there are other options. What I found is actually we can cut it to only 100 Chinese yuan, and we also can have a very good sleep and also have breakfast. So it's all of this down, that all the people happily prepare for the competition, and we won a better prize in the end.
Okay, so that means from your answer, what I can gather is that you are prepared. If there's not enough money, you are prepared to go and source for more money just to make sure the participants are well taken care of during the activities. Am I right?
Yes.
Great. So, in your knowledge, what are the fundings that NTUGSC is able to tap on for SNR activities?
Could you?
So that means, SNR activities, they need fundings.
Yes.
Okay, so this funding from? I mean, in your knowledge.
As I know, there definitely have some support from school, and also there are some company from outside that if we like make some of advertisement for them in the activities, they will support us. And also, as I know from like WeChat group, there are some money from the Alibaba, like for all the students, and so that's all I know.
Okay. So, I mean, just to let you know that all our activities so far, the fundings come from the Student Affairs Office, so also known as the SAO.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is our primary source of funding. Okay, so currently, what other fundings or grants do you have in mind, and how do you plan to obtain them for your S&R activities? So you mentioned Alibaba, right? So Alibaba is a website that sells things. So do you have any experience whereby, or have you seen anything whereby people approach them to get funding for their school activities?
So I believe like this year's Alibaba did a lot of work and distributed a lot of money to increase its notability of it. And as I know, like it recently has a collaboration with Lazada, so that we can buy things from that website and from China and very cheap. And so I think to promote the notice of these connections, and maybe we can look for funding from them by advertise this.
So that means I take it as you are actually open to the idea of sourcing for sponsorship from external companies to help fund your activities, is that right?
Yes, and also if some activities is relate with some purpose of if one company they have a purpose to organize an activity by themselves, we can collaborate with them, and by collaborate with them, and they will have more support.
That's great, that's great. At least we're now, I mean, I am very happy that at least I will be looking forward to more fun events, having more money, even if our current funding from SAO is limited. So at least I know that you are open to the idea of finding other ways, because the undergrads are doing this as well. There will always be sourcing for sponsorship. I mean, if you're opportunity, you will look for collaborators, right? So, maybe you can also do the same for the SRI activities. Okay, great. Thank you for your answer. Okay. So for Tusha, so you mentioned also that you will conduct research-based and skill development workshops in collaboration with NTU libraries. This is a very exciting initiative. In fact, everyone here might know that there's a latex workshop that's been conducted by our EVP. So the question is, in these workshops, who is your primary target audience, and how would you ensure that there is an adequate number and quality of these workshops conducted for a wide range of disciplines?
Right. So basically, being a PhD student myself, I have attended the courses as well as conducting the research for my PhD. I know that there are a lot of tools at our disposal that we can utilize, and if we were to really know how to use them, our productivity is enhanced. Now, unfortunately, a lot of students really struggle through trying to learn it themselves. However, if they had some supervision, some teaching, for those tools, it would really help them to enhance their productivity. Like I said, now NTU Libraries has already been conducting a lot of workshops in the past. unfortunately, I am not sure whether people are actually paying enough attention to those mails which come from NTU libraries. So, first and foremost, primary target audience, since we are contesting for a post in the Graduate Student Council, will be the graduate students. Of course, we can also open it up for undergrads. They are welcome to come, but keeping in mind that we are here to serve the purpose of the graduate students, so they are the primary target. And across different schools, actually there is a survey which was conducted by NTUGSC after every term, and I would really look forward to getting some idea from there as to what is it that the students exactly want, and to conduct these workshops according to what would really suit their needs. I'm aware of a lot of workshops that are already conducted. For example, there is like you said, the one on LaTeX, there is one on how to write good papers, on EndNote, there is one on critical thinking. So these are a lot of things which NTU Libraries is doing to try and address the needs of the students. But if we can also hear from them as to what is it that they want. Another potential idea which came to me is we have the graduate assistantship program, and we have to have a TA duty of around 416 hours. Now there is a section over there which actually enables you to do some things which comes to others or miscellaneous. So this is where we could actually talk to the different schools and see if we could get the students to conduct some workshops either for their school or if it is inter-school. Ultimately, it would help both the people who would be attending the workshop, they would be getting a new skill, and for people who are conducting it, it would be like an incentive because then it could help add up to their gap hours. So that is something which we are already facing, that question about how are we going to finish 416 hours. So if we have something like this, which is say on weekends, it would really help connect the students and help them share what they know in terms of resources. So that is one way. And of course, how do I ensure the adequate number and quality of work? First of all, I feel that for absolutely any event, you have to have a very effective dissemination of information. And I guess one of the ways which has already been one of the ways which NTUGSC has been using is the mass mail and the notice boards and things like that. But we also have the school GCs. And if we were to increase the collaboration with them and to involve them, in things like this, it would really help to increase, even if word of mouth counts a lot. There are a lot of times when I might have just skipped past, a mail or walked past a notice board without actually realizing that there's something really worthy of looking at. But if I just have a friend who happens to know something and just passes the word around, that comes a lot. So involving other smaller school bodies in